in a forgotten corner of the world, tucked away between looming mountains. Darkness had a name, the Black Fangs. This gang wasn't just a nuisance. They were the law, the economy, and the very air the townsfolk breathed. They controlled everything, and anyone who dared to stand against them simply ... disappeared. But even in the deepest shadows, a light can flicker. His name was Ethan Ward, a simple farmer, yes, but his heart was a fortress of kindness. He defied the gang's chokehold, sharing his harvest with the starving and offering his home as a sanctuary to the oppressed. His courage was a quiet rebellion, but a rebellion nonetheless. One fateful night, his defiance came to a head. The Black Fangs demanded his entire harvest. Ethan refused. 5 masked figures, their hearts colder than the mountain stone, descended upon his farm. They silenced his kindness with brutal force and cast his body into the cold, dark silence of an abandoned well. They thought they had extinguished a flame, but they had unknowingly ignited an eternal fire. The blood they spilled that night was not ordinary. Centuries crawled by. Ethan's story transformed from a painful memory into a whispered legend, a tale told to children to teach them about courage. But for one of his descendants, a 12-year-old boy named Liam, it was just that, a story. Liam was a child of a cynical age, convinced that villains always win, and justice was a fairy tale. The world he knew was full of shadows, with no heroes in sight. One afternoon, while exploring the fringes of the old forest, Liam stumbled upon a hidden path. It led him into the mouth of a dark, forgotten cave. Drawn deeper by an unexplainable pull, he discovered a stone coffin, ancient and imposing. Carved into its lid was his family crest and a name. Weathered by time, Ethan Ward, the man who defied evil. A shiver ran down his spine. It was real. Hesitantly, he reached out, his small hand touching the cold stone. The moment his fingers made contact, a voice, ancient and disembodied, echoed through the cavern, seeming to come from the very rock around him. Your blood is mine, and it's time for justice to awaken from its ashes. The ground began to tremble violently. With a deep, grinding roar, the heavy stone lid of the coffin slid open. A light, so brilliant it hurt to look at, erupted from within. As his eyes adjusted, Liam saw a figure wrapped in ancient linen. The face was impossibly preserved, as if the man were merely sleeping. Then, the impossible happened. The corpse's eyes snapped open, glowing with a faint, ethereal light. It spoke, and its voice was a chilling rumble that resonated deep in Liam's soul. Evil has returned, my grandson. You shall be the hand that tears out its roots. In that instant, Liam felt an incredible power surge through him, a white-hot fire igniting in his veins. It was the legacy of his ancestor, a sacred duty passed down through blood. From that night on, the boy who disbelieved in heroes was gone. In his place was something ... else. His eyes would glow with an inner fire at the mere mention of injustice. His strength would multiply tenfold whenever he defended the weak. As if summoned by this ancient awakening, a new generation of the Black Fangs had risen. Their cruelty, a dark echo of their predecessors. They cast a familiar shadow of fear across the town, confident in their reign of terror. They had no idea that an ancient justice was stirring, waiting for them in the form of a young boy. On a night when the sky wept with rain and roared with thunder, Liam appeared. The lightning flashes illuminated his determined face as he stood before the gang's fortified hideout. In his hands, he held an old, worn axe, the very same one that had been buried with his grandfather. His voice, impossibly deep and carrying the weight of 1,000 souls, cut through the storm. Tonight, you pay for blood forgotten by all but me. What followed was not a fight, it was a reckoning. The storm outside was matched by the storm within. Screams, the clang of steel, the crackle of fire, swallowed by the thunder. Each swing of Liam's axe was a roar from the grave, a promise fulfilled. One by one, the gang members fell, their cries for mercy lost to the wind. The reign of the Black Fangs was over, ended in a single cataclysmic night. When it was done, Liam walked through the rain-soaked streets to the old abandoned well, the very one that had served as his grandfather's tomb. He stood at its edge, the storm quieting around him, and whispered into the darkness, "Justice never dies. It only waits to be reborn." He let the axe fall from his hands, dropping it into the black abyss. From the depths of the well, a blinding blue light erupted, washing over the entire town, cleansing it. From that night forward, everything changed. The long drought broke, and gentle rains returned. The soil, barren for years, grew fertile and rich once more. A spirit of goodness and hope, long dormant, spread through the town like the dawn breaking after an endless night. Liam became a legend in his own right, a symbol of justice reborn. No one saw the boy again. He vanished as mysteriously as he had appeared, but the townsfolk knew he was still watching. Whenever injustice threatened to take root, a whisper would be heard on the wind, a gentle reminder: blood is not washed by blood, but by justice. And they say, on nights when the moon is full and bright, if you look closely at the highest mountain peak, you can sometimes see a faint silhouette, young boy holding an axe made of pure light. The silent guardian of the town, just as his grandfather had been. He is Liam Ward, the heir of eternal justice. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of a legend. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until next time, stay curious.